Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal of Approved. Count it out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler, and as always, I am joined by the one and only Mike. Mike, how the hell are you, my friend?
Woo, woo.
Are you raising the roof?
Yeah.
When we record this, I'm on terrible Wi-Fi, so your actually screen is frozen on my end of you just drinking a beer. It looks terrible, but I could just I don't need to see you to know because we're spirit animals.
You missed my whole dance.
I will watch it when I edit this together.
It's as white as they come, my friend.
I'm just letting you know. I didn't even have to see you to know because we're spirit animals. We're on the same page, man. What's going on? How's life?
You know what? Life is good. I'm excited for today's list because I was planning on doing an ROH list this week because it is Death Before Dishonor coming up next month or next week, I should say. And I really wanted to tribute that by doing a Death Before Dishonor list, but a lot of matches to watch, brother. A lot of matches to watch. I just couldn't get through them all.
Classic Mike. You always get so excited about a list. And I always tell you, Mike, this is too short notice to turn around and get this done.
Especially when I want to do ROH stuff, because ROH, you can never just watch a few matches.
No.
And you know what I mean?
In the past, like when we've done stuff like WCW Spring Stampede, best of, like I can read the list of that and be like, okay, I know I don't need to watch that. I don't need to watch
especially that. Especially when a Spring Stampede or something like that only has like 4 pay-per-views.
Yeah, Death Before Dishonor has a lot. Plus, there's some 2-nighters, and I mean, it was so cute when you tried. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to burst your bubble. So it's so cute when you get excited.
I watched Death Before Dishonor 2016, and that alone could have been a list.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean? So I kind of gave up right there. I'm like, if every Death Before Dishonor is this fucking good, I'm not gonna be able to do 7. I just can't. Yeah. So I am gonna end up watching all these shows one day, but not in the span of a few days like I thought I could.
No.
So what we're doing today is we're gonna do a little sequel show.
Yeah, well, based off of the tremendous feedback we got from last week's show, we're going to show some love to the ladies this week.
Mm-hmm. We're each gonna do our top 7 favorite current female wrestlers. Yeah, and the timing is a little apropos because just a few nights ago, as we record this, was the NWA's Empower pay-per-view.
Yeah,
which, if you are living under a rock, was an all women's pay-per-view. At the Chase, by the way, the first time an all-women's pay-per-view has happened at the Chase, which, again, if you're living under a rock, is one of the most legendary wrestling venues in history.
Yeah, I think it was, and Flair was on the show the next night. I think that was his first time back there in about 30 years.
Like 30 years, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. I want to talk about that in a minute, but let's stick with the women for now. Good time in women's wrestling, and you know, it's funny, and I mentioned this, and we talked about this with Lenny Leonard a couple of weeks ago, which do yourself a favor, hit up the archives on www.countout7.com and listen to that interview. Lenny tells some great stuff. He's a pioneer with Dave Prazak and women's wrestling, but like, it's just wrestling. It's not women's wrestling. You know what I mean? But
I was going to say that, you know, Lenny says it the best when he says we need to stop calling it women's wrestling because at this point it's just wrestling.
Yeah. And for the sake of
some of these women are doing, some of these women are doing better jobs than a lot of the men out there. Some of the 100%. Women on the indies are doing better jobs than the men in WWE. 100%. Like they work harder because they have to. They perform better because they have to. And they're just all around better because they have to be. Yeah. You know, I still don't think we're where we need to be with women's wrestling. The fact that a show like Empower is as groundbreaking as it is in 2021 is a fucking sad state.
I agree with that.
You know,
but let's spin it a little bit too, though. You know, the NWA is letting their women shine right now. Ring of Honor has their women's tournament going right now, which is great.
If you would have told me 5 or 6 years ago that in 2021 WWE would be the one at the bottom of the barrel for women's wrestling, I would have laughed at you. Because they were doing some great things. They really were.
Their NXT women's division has always been very strong. But
when they did their what was it called, their Evolution pay-per-view, it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
they were doing the Mae Young tournament that they were doing for a few years. I think was one of the highlights of my year for a long time. And now they just kind of fizzled out. It really has.
Much like a lot of stuff that they're doing in their company.
And everybody else has picked up the ball and ran with it. NWA, you already mentioned. Ring of Honor, you already mentioned. Impact has had a great women's division for a long time. AEW, I think, kind of was slow on the roll with the women's division. I don't think they knew what they were doing with their women's division in the beginning. But you as an AEW fan, I'm sure you're going to agree with me. It's really becoming something. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's there yet. It's not at the heights of even Impact's division, but it's going to be. It's getting there.
I feel like now that they have Britt Baker as their champion too, is going to help elevate it because she is so strong on the microphone as well, right? People are into Britt, so who knows? Maybe we'll talk about her in a little bit on the list. Not to mention their partnership with Impact and their partnership with AAA really helps out with stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. And even the NWA too, they're doing work together, right? Yeah. They sent and you're gonna have to give me the girl's name. I don't know if you know it off the top of your head, that fought Camille at the Empowered pay-per-view. They tore the house down. Fucking. That's fine. I'm terrible with names. Rob will tell me later, but I don't know. I'm terrible with a lot of names, especially on the smaller scale. That's not my strength, unfortunately. But legit Layla Hirsch. There you go. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, they tore the house down. Melina and Deonna Purrazzo tore the house down. The main event battle royal was cool for me to watch because we got a local girl, Bianca Corelli. Yeah. Thank you. Which was really cool to see her on there. Yeah, and she's someone I'd love to get on our show. Absolutely, daughter of Mississauga native Santino Marella. Mm-hmm. Overall home run. Let's talk a little bit about the next night. I know you haven't watched the whole thing yet, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But I've been spoiled a couple things. So let's go with the big news first. Then, new NWA World Champion has been crowned. Mm-hmm. Trevor Murdoch. What do you think? What are your views on this? I haven't watched the match yet, so I obviously can't give any opinions on how this transpired. All I know is that I think it's a good move. Okay. They've been building this for a long time. This is a long build. This Trevor Murdoch, Nick Aldis feud has been going on for like 3 fucking years. Like since the beginning of NWA Power, they've been feuding. So this makes sense to me. If anybody was going to take the title off of Aldis, it was going to be Trevor Murdoch. Mm-hmm. Good for Murdoch. I like him a lot. I think he's doing great work in NWA. He's exactly where he needs to be. I don't think he needs to be in any other promotion. He fits into NWA very, very well, which is probably why they named him after Dick Murdoch in the first place. Yeah, because I was going to mention that. I like the fact that he's a throwback to Dick Murdoch. Yeah. I like the fact that he was trained by Harley Race, and they played up on all of that stuff. Exactly. I did watch the finish. I will not spoil it for you. Don't worry. But I thought that they did some real nice touches at the end. I'm with you, man. I like this. The one thing that you did see on the show that I want to talk about, though, is Mr. Ric Flair returning to the chase for the first time in 30 years. Mr. NWA himself. I don't care how long it's been since he's been in an NWA arena. He will always be the NWA to me. What do you think of his promo? It was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was exactly what I wanted from Ric Flair in the chase in 2021. He was the nature boy when he needed to be, but then he was Ric Flair when he needed to be. Mm-hmm. He went out there, he styled and profiled, he wooed, but he also got really, really real. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't shit on the other companies. Yeah. Holy fuck. I watched this thing
other AEW and other promotions. You can learn something from the Nature Boy, because not like he's been successful or anything like that. You know, why would you listen to Nate? I don't know. He went out there. Not only did he not bitch and whine about everything, he gave credit where credit is due. And I loved how we finished it off with saying, listen, Vince McMahon isn't going to see this thing tonight, but he sure as hell going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it 100%, man. Love every minute of it.
I have two takes on this promo. The first take is I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. I agree with you. It was Flair being Flair. He was all over the place. He was not making sense. He was making sense. He was whatever, and it was great.
If Billy would have let him wrestle last night, he would have.
100% he would have.
Yeah.
100%. And you know what? I know Flair said he wants to wrestle again. If you put him in a tag match, I'll be okay with it. I don't want to see him move a singles. So let him come in, hit a couple chops, figure four. Maybe take a bump off the top, old school. But no, I don't want to see Flair in the ring. I'm just kidding. I don't want to see that. But the other thing, though, like I loved how passionate he was. I love the emotion. I thought it was a great moment. But he spent the whole time talking about the WWE pretty much. Maybe 50-50, but it was just weird because it was in the NWA ring. I would have liked him to. Okay. And he did still put them over, but I would have liked him to focus a little more on the NWA. But I thought some of his points were good. You know, what belt does Hunter have on his wall? It's not a WWE belt. It's he
hasn't worked for the NWA in almost 40 years.
I know what I'm trying to say, and I don't want to dampen the moment.
And he has spent the majority of his career since 2000, other than a cup of coffee in TNA, after their NWA years, mind you. So other than that cup of coffee in TNA, he spent the rest of the time in WWE.
I get it.
He's been a WWE guy. So it's got to be hard for him to come out and finally have a mic, because they didn't give him a mic at AAA, right? So they give him a mic and say, hey man, you're the Nature Boy. Say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, which is cool. And respects to Billy for saying that.
100%. So if he's going to say whatever he wants to say, of course he's going to say, thank you, Vince. Thank you, Triple H, and thank you, Shawn Michaels. Of course he's going to say that shit.
What I was just going to say, though, I feel like maybe he focused a little too much on it. I would like to have seen him let loose as himself a little more. I'm happy he said the thank yous. I love the stuff he said. He put his daughter over. He put Randy. He put everybody over. It was all positive. I just would have liked to have seen him, maybe got that out of the way at the beginning and then Nate it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to shit on this promo. I hope don't anybody ever take it that I'm trying to shit on this promo, because I thought it was fucking awesome.
You saw his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah,
you give this man a mic and tell him 5 minutes, and he's going to go
going
for
an hour.
For 30.
He's going Broadway, buddy.
So...
I couldn't believe that he even wrapped himself up. I was dying laughing. So last thing we're going to talk about here before we get in the list, you want to do a little bit of venting this week?
Yeah, just give me a minute here. I got to get something off my chest, and I know I'm that guy. Okay, everyone's gonna be like, here he goes. He's gonna talk shit about AEW. He's gonna talk shit about CM Punk. And yes, you're right. I'm going to, but I truly feel vindicated for this one. I think I really think I'm 100% correct on this one. I trust by now you have seen the clips of him. I forgot what state it was or city was. Was it Minnesota or
Milwaukee.
Something like that? Milwaukee, thank you. And after the cameras are off,
I hated this.
They want to send the fans home happy. So what? He gets in the ring with Christian Cage and was it Kaz?
There's Frankie Kazarian, yeah.
Right. Okay. Great moment. Okay, I'm not going to shit on that. You put those three guys in the ring, that's money right there. That's going to send the fans home happy. I have no problem with that. Here's where I get a little pissy. CM Punk has the balls to say, hey man, if you like what we're doing here, fucking tell us, comment, click yes, click I like it, all that. If you don't like it, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
This motherfucker has not shut his fucking tight lips in 30 years about the things he doesn't like. Every time somebody fucking farts, CM Punk is the first fucking person to bring it up, and he never brings it up on the fucking mic anymore. He's a fucking Twitter warrior, especially in the last 7 years since he's been out of WWE. WWE does the smallest fucking thing, and he's the first one on this fucking keyboard crying and fucking bitching and whining about it. And he has the balls to tell people
I'm not with you on this one.
To shut the fuck up about it.
I'm not with you on this one, and I'll tell you why.
No, fuck you. How can you defend this?
I'm going to tell you why, because he was. This is my take on how I saw the promo. Okay, it was the running gag of they were all saying "fuck," which I didn't like. By the way, I don't like that. You're a major company on national television. I don't want to hear Christian say fuck.
But they weren't on major television.
I don't care. I don't want to hear Christian say fuck. I don't want to hear anybody say fuck. They have children in the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, these guys are a professional company. You know what I mean? I want to hear fucking GCW. I want to hear fucking, you know what I mean? On the indies, that's fine. But I don't want to hear it on what you're presenting yourself like this. You know what I mean? I don't like that. But I think he was just trying to keep the running gag going of saying fuck, and that's just what he put out there because Christian said it, and then Kazarian said it, and that's just what he came out with.
You're just trying to cover his ass.
I'm not. Bullshit. I just think that it was a terrible running gag that they did, and I just think that's what he came out with.
Okay, fine. Then take the word fuck out of it. He still said if you don't like our product, shut up.
Yeah. But he said it
no bullshit.
That was how he was trying to hit his joke, though. That was where he wanted to put his fuck in. I think we're doing great stuff, and if you don't like it, I'll shut the fuck up. Like, he didn't say it in a serious way. He was trying to keep the joke going.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. That's how I saw it. I get what you're saying. Hey, I get what you're saying, but I think that you're reading that one wrong. I don't think he was shitting on anything. I think he was just trying to keep the stupid gag going. Although I did like what Frankie Kazarian said, though. You know, I've been here since day one. I like how he endorsed them like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no problem with Kaz or Christian in this segment. I really didn't. I feel like we're going to have a weekly segment where every week I fucking have a problem with something CM Punk says, and then you're going to make up some bullshit
CM Punk is your new Kenny Omega?
To fucking cover him up. CM Punk's been my Kenny Omega since fucking 2005.
That's fair. Listen, I'm not going to defend CM Punk if I think he does something stupid. I just think that was a stupid joke, and that's just what he came up with. I didn't see how you see it there. I think that might just be you being a hater a little bit.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely no. It's not me being a hater. It's me.
No, if he came out and cut a promo, an actual whole promo, being like, "Our product is the best," and this and that. If this was on television and he was in a character of some sort, I would have hated it.
I'd give it a pass because at least it was some sort of fucking character. But the fact is, he, as Phil fucking Brooks, was telling people, if you don't like what we're doing, shut the fuck up. Because that's who he is. He doesn't want to hear people fucking criticize him or his fucking company. He just wants to be the one criticizing.
Yeah, but you know what though? And that's always who.
Fuck him.
Good for him too. No one wants to hear their company get criticized.
No one wants to see him. Fuck.
They don't. I won't. And I'm not even saying this is CM Punk. Roman Reigns did the same thing a couple of weeks ago. People criticize his product, and he stuck up for it. Every company should have a guy like that.
Not when you're a hypocrite.
Well, I don't know. Like that's to be debatable. Like if you just don't like Punk.
When you do nothing, but it's not nothing to do with me not liking Punk. It's got to me.
Said you've hated him for 10 years.
But this situation, what I'm complaining about, has nothing to do with. If it was anybody else, if it was anybody who spent the last 7 years bitching and whining on his fucking keyboard like a 12-year-old girl, and then comes out and says, if you don't like something, just don't talk about it, shut up.
Every wrestler bitches and whines on Twitter like a 12-year-old girl.
Here we go.
They all do it. They all do it. Punk does it. I'm not saying that Punk doesn't do it. Of course he does.
We
but
might as well
everybody
move on because
fucking
you're never gonna let me say a bad word about Punk on the show. Right?
I will when he does something. This is, I think, you just nitpicking. I think
this is 3 weeks in a row where I'm saying he's done something and he's like, you didn't.
What did he do last week that I stuck up for?
Oh, fuck it! The whole him bashing WWE in his promo. Oh, he wasn't bashing WWE. Yeah,
I didn't think happen. He bashed him.
No, I know I didn't think because you've got these rose-colored glasses when it comes.
I definitely do not. I think that you've got the rose. You've got the hate glasses on.
No.
You do. You got the hate on. He's your new Kenny Omega. It's your AEW beef.
You stop with the Kenny Omega shit.
Well, I can stop now because now we have CM Punk. He's your new.
I'll let you do that because I've hated CM Punk. For
I know you do.
Career.
This is why I think you have the rose-colored blinders on. I think that if Kazarian would have said that, you would have given him a pass. But I think just because Punk said it.
Has Kazarian been fucking bitching and whining online? And
I'm sure if you went through his Twitter at some point, every wrestler does it, man. Booker T is fucking doing it on a weekly basis.
I'm not going to defend Booker T's fucking stupid ass either. Fuck Booker T. Well, we could do a whole show of my feelings about Booker T right now. I probably hate Booker T right now worse than Punk.
Booker T is your new CM Punk plus Kenny Omega equals Booker T.
Pretty much. At least Punk. He's just a dick, and he's a dick in this corner. Booker T's in our world, man. Booker T's making all fucking wrestling podcasters look bad. Fuck that guy. Oh, I hate him.
And you know what, though, and this one will be a little bit of a defense on Punk, so you can call me fanboy on this one. Punk's a dick. Everybody knows he's a dick, and he doesn't pretend to not be a dick. Lenny Leonard said it himself.
Yeah,
Lenny Leonard said it himself.
Exactly. I'll give him that.
Right? If he's trying to be this phony, raw guy, okay.
Oh, no, he's never.
Everybody's got a story, and
he's never pretended to be a good dude.
Yeah, and if you listen to any podcast, and especially back in the early days of Cole Cabana's podcast, The Art of Wrestling, everybody's got a first meeting of CM Punk's a dick story.
Yeah,
everybody does, right? Mm-hmm. You either like him or you don't like him.
Man, how long till the WWE Network puts up the rise and fall of CM Punk?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Or no, that's not what it was called. The self-destruction of CM Punk. That'd be the one.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. We'll see. Man. I wasn't as impressed with CM Punk week 2 in AEW. Just so you know that I'm not a fucking CM Punk fanboy. I do like CM Punk. He is one of my favorites, but I'm not afraid to call a spade a spade. His promo didn't do anything for me this week. So I'm not blinded by CM Punk's life.
I won't lie. Because I did enjoy his appearance on Rampage, I was expecting something special from the Dynamite one, since that is their flagship.
Yeah,
but it didn't.
He didn't even really excite me for his match with Darby on this week. I would have liked to see a little interaction.
There's a very good chance I'm going to tune into All In or All Out, whatever the fuck it is. I hate that they have those two, because I can never fucking remember which is which.
There's only one. All In was just the one off before AEW. Now it's All Out.
There's never been another All In.
They just did the one because it was named All In because they put all their money
they're all in.
Right?
Yeah. But everyone since then has always been All Out.
Yeah, every single one's been All Out.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I will probably tune into All Out for a few different reasons. One being Punk and Darby. I
think they'll have a great match.
I want to see. I like Darby. I think he's really good.
The crowd's going to be nuts for it too.
I want to see what Punk can do after 7 years.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. A lot of hype behind this.
I do feel he owes me some money for the fucking money I spent on his UFC fights, but
well, I don't. I'm going to disagree with you on that because you hate CM Punk and saw him get the shit kicked out of him. That's like your money's worth right there. No,
you are not wrong, sir.
Right?
You are not wrong at all.
So, okay, before we move on to the list here, I got 2 quick things I want to talk about.
All right.
And the first one I forgot already, so that did not take long. We were talking about All Out, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm just gonna roll with it. Debuting this Sunday, whatever Sunday, brand new podcast coming to the Count It Out family. Count It Out has partnered up with the Titantron podcast. Easy for me to say, with Anthony. We're doing a brand new show called the Classic Match Classroom, where I am taking young Anthony to school. He is a fantastic wrestling mind, much like yourself and I, Mike, and many of our listeners, but he's never seen so many amazing legendary matches before.
A lot of people, I don't think anybody, even if you listen to the Titan Run, I don't think people understand, because of how knowledgeable he is. I don't think people understand how young he is.
Yes, he's about 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, dude's fucking fresh out of diapers.
Yeah. Yeah, you know? But he knows his shit, man. I got a lot of respect for Anthony's mind. I got a lot of respect for his knowledge.
When you told me you were doing the show, I was really happy. Anybody, well, actually, nobody knows this. I'll throw this out. When back in the WrestleMania days, I was working on a very similar show. Even recorded a few episodes and just never saw the light of day. Except mine was different. I was taking someone who's never seen wrestling at all before and showing them the matches I think he needed to watch. Basically, it was a 7-week program. I had 7 shows to turn him into a wrestling fan. It didn't end up happening. That's fine. So when you told me this premise of taking a guy, even though he's already a wrestling fan, but you're taking him and you're showing the shit that made you a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Because you were from a very different generation than Anthony,
and that's kind of what we're going to do. It made me
so happy that concept, it is a different concept than I was doing, but similar. So, but it makes me really happy to see this concept kind of come to life finally. And you and Anthony are a great pair for this concept. I can't wait to be involved in it too.
Yeah,
I have some shit I want to show Anthony and really talk to him about, and. It's I'm excited for the show. I'm excited that it's under our banner. Well, half under our banner.
We're going half on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm very happy.
Like and a follow at Classic Match Classroom on Instagram and Twitter, I believe, are the handles. First week we're going to be breaking down. We're going to break up the first one into 2 parts because it's so much to talk about. We're going to take a look back at the Bret Hart versus Steve Austin rivalry. We're going to take a look starting right at WrestleMania 12 when Bret left until his return match. The match Anthony will be watching is Bret Hart versus Steve Austin from Survivor Series 96. We're going to talk the build to it. We're going to talk the match. We're going to talk about how it held up 20-something years later. I think 25 years later. Part 2, we're going to continue the feud all the way to WrestleMania 13. So very fun stuff. I've had a blast going back.
I can't wait to listen to this. I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
as a fan of podcasts, I want to listen to this. So
without tipping off too much about the show, just some conversation I've had with Anthony off air, he finally watched the match the other day, and I asked him, what did you think about the build? What do you think about the match? And he just put, it was fucking amazing. I can't believe how reality based everything was, how fun it was, and he had never seen Steve Austin like that before. I'm sure he just knows Steve Austin as the what guy, right?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I'm really excited to do this one with Anthony. So that's going to be every Sunday. It's going to be on YouTube for sure. Have not decided about Spotify yet, but I'm sure we'll put it on there too. Because why the fuck not?
Why not?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's the big exciting news there. If I ever remember what my second point was going to be, then we'll get to that. But if not, I'm ready to roll into this list whenever you are, my friend.
Well, one last really quick plug before we get into the list. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, you're listening to this on September the 2nd, which means we are just over a week away from Count It Out being live and in person at Barry Wrestling on September 11th.
That's right.
Barry Wrestling presents Back to School, which is a stacked card. I'm not going to get into it right now. Next week on the show, we're going to really look at the card in depth before the list, really talk about the card and psych ourselves up for being at that show. But we are going to be there. So all our listeners can come, chill out, talk to us, all that fun stuff. We're going to announce this next week, but we'll probably be doing a little contest or something. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Here's the thing, though. If you're listening to this on September 2nd, the tickets are going fast, man.
Yeah, there's only about 10 tickets left.
There's like 10 or 11 tickets left, which means by the time you're hearing this, there's probably only like 7 or 8 left. Go get your tickets now. If you live in Ontario, you don't want to miss this show. Some of the biggest names in the indie scene, not just from Ontario, from all over. Puff is going to be at this show. And Puff's a huge name, like in the fucking
Detroit area about a couple months ago.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Like on Dark or?
He did like a segment. He was like an extra in a segment. He got some big time screen time though.
Very cool. So Puff's going to be on the show. It's a lot of our favorite people: Holden Albright, Nova, Alexi and Nicole.
3 people have been on our show.
All these great people are going to be on the show. You don't want to miss it. Like I said, we'll go through the card next week.
Yeah, and be sure you guys are checking out
your tickets.
Check out our Instagram Live on September 11th. We're going to be doing a bunch of fun stuff the whole day. We're going to have some exclusive interviews with some talent. It's going to be fun stuff, man. I'm really excited.
I'm so pumped up. We've been wanting to do this since the beginning of this show. Unfortunately, COVID just didn't allow it. This is the first show we're finally able to go to.
Yeah,
I'm so psyched.
I was gonna say here, Mike, because I think I'm more excited that this is the first time you and I are actually gonna go see a wrestling show together.
I have never watched a wrestling show with you.
The only time Mike and I have ever watched wrestling together was SummerSlam last year, and we both got so drunk that
I don't remember that at all.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited, and I'm excited to get to this list, man. What do you think?
All right, let's do it. So. You were gracious enough to let me start last week. So why don't I give that honor to you this week? Why don't you start off with your number 7?
Okay, so this week we're going to be counting down our top 7 favorite current female wrestlers going on. So my list is going to be a little bit different, I think, because this is my favorite. So just because these people might not be getting the best angles or the best stuff,
that's fine, man.
I don't give a shit because they're my favorites.
And this is what we said last week. This is not our list of the best. This is not the list of like who's the greatest in the ring, the greatest in the mic. These are our favorites. These are the ones that entertain us right now.
Yeah,
and they could be. I mean, shit. Last week we both brought up. He wasn't on our list, but we both brought up the name Danhausen. Danhausen isn't the greatest on anything right now, but he's entertaining as fuck. So both you and I brought his name up.
Absolutely.
It's no different this week. When we got on the line today before we press record, you said to me that you think I'm going to be mad about your list today, and I truly think that there's no possible way that can happen.
I'm going to make a bold prediction right now.
Yeah,
we might only have 2 people, and I'm saying maybe 2 people the same this week.
And I'm guessing 1.
And I'm going to say there's 1 for sure that we have the same.
I'm saying 1, and there's nothing wrong with that. I guarantee I'm not going to have a problem with your list because this is not a definite list. This is what we like.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a single person that you're going to say I like this girl in the ring. And I'm going to be like, why?
Right. My number 7, Nia Jax. No, I'm just kidding.
You almost just proved me completely wrong.
My real number 7, though, let's be real here. My real number 7, I'm going with Old Faithful, man. Natty Neidhart. I love me some Natty.
As you should. Fortunately, she didn't make my list. Probably just because I have no idea what the fuck she's doing right now. I don't watch enough WWE to know.
Well, she's currently the tag team champion with Tamina.
But she is one of the greatest of all time. And I'll never take that away from her.
Yeah, I love Natty. You guys, anyone that's ever listened to our show knows that I'm a huge diehard fan of the Hart family. Getting to interview Bronwyn was fantastic. And Natty's just, man, she carries that legacy on so good. She is probably the locker room leader, if I had to take a guess, of all the women.
I mean, I guess so.
I don't think that there's a better technician than Natty. I think that Natty is an unsung hero for helping a lot of the unexperienced people that didn't break in, you know what I mean, that were the model types, you know, the Michelle McCools, the Bellas, all these people. They all credit Natty for helping them. And
as they should.
And I just think that Natty, it's crazy because she's a multi-time champion, tag team and women's world champion. But I always feel like Natty never gets the love that she deserves in that division. She's never been the focal point of it.
To call Natty Neidhart an underrated wrestler feels dirty.
I know, but it's true.
You know, but it's 100% true. She does not get. She is underrated in the way that William Regal is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where people know how good William Regal is, he just never comes up in the conversation for some.
That's a great analogy, man. That's really great.
And Natty's the same way. She's never the name on your lips when you're talking about the best. But then when the name comes up, you're like, oh yeah, well, she's one of the best. You know, she's one of those underrated people that shouldn't be underrated, but will always be underrated.
Yeah, because take a look at the classic matches she's had, man. She's fantastic.
Yeah,
love me some Natty, and love TJ too.
Gotta love TJ. Name one other woman who could be given a farting gimmick and have it not ruin their career.
Right? I can't. And also the fact that I'm a cat lover and Natty's a cat lover. Respect the hell out of it. That's my 7, man.
That is a great way to start the list. I'm loving it already. My number 7 is very different. Very, very different. Where you're going with a veteran, really. I'm going with someone who is as green as they come, but I think is the future of wrestling, when especially in women's divisions. I'm going with ROH's Quinn Mckay.
Oh, nice.
Quinn is one of the most entertaining women in wrestling for me right now. She's phenomenal in her position in ROH as a backstage interviewer. She runs all their YouTube shows and interview shows and stuff like that. She does all that. She's been training in the Indies for years now. But she finally got to break in the ROH ring, and she's had a couple matches, and they told a great story of her trying to get into that tournament
for me.
100%. She told a great story of trying to get into that tournament. One of the highlights for me of this whole thing was when she finally beat Mandy Leon, and Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman acted like she just body slammed Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
It was such a phenomenal moment because their camaraderie, though, that the backstage boys, and Quinn, they love each other so much. And they were so proud of her. It was such a great fucking part of the story.
I like it.
And Quinn tells it so well. She's the perfect underdog. She really is. And even though she is now out of the tournament, Roxy eliminated from the tournament a couple weeks ago.
Who I'm a big fan of also. I really like her. She's been my standout because I don't know a lot of the women in this tournament, but she's been my standout, Roxy. I like her.
I have something to say about Roxy a little later on.
Oh, what a treat.
But we'll get there when we get there. But even without being in the tournament, Quinn has a future in ROH. We have not seen the last of Quinn in the ring. And if you haven't seen her yet, you haven't missed much yet. You really haven't. She's only had a handful of matches in ROH. Just go back, watch what she's been doing, start turning into ROH because she's so entertaining. She's so cute. She's got a great character. I love everything about her right now.
I love it, man. And I'm really happy that you started your list like this with someone who you think the future of the business is, because my number 6 is someone that I also think is the future of the business.
Okay.
And call me a homer, call me a favorite because she's been on our show, but I'm going with Nova, man.
Wow. Okay. She's definitely in my honorable mentions, but I mean, all right, go for it, man.
There's just something about Nova that I just I'm drawn to. Like, she's got this presence to her, like this big star feeling.
She's got a confidence about her, and I wouldn't call it an ego. I wouldn't call it an undue confidence. She's just got this confidence. She holds herself like a champion.
She does. She carries herself with a lot of respect.
Which, as of this weekend, she is now a double champion. She's got championships in 2 different indie leagues.
That's right.
So, and she's only been on the scene for a handful of years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. there's just something about I'm so impressed about. I think that there's definitely better people that I left off the list from an in-ring technical standpoint. But I mean, for how little of a time she's doing this, the connection that she makes with people, the way she carries herself, the presence that she brings. And hey, I'm not taking away from anything she does in the ring, because she is fantastic in the ring.
Of course she is.
And she's fantastic in the ring after only doing this for a couple of years. The sky's the limit for this girl. If you guys don't know who Nova is, look her up. And then in 3 or 4 years, when she's signed to a major company and she's getting a prominent role in it, you can be like, Tyler and Mike fucking told you Nova's the star. And I cannot wait to see her work live for the first time at Barrie Wrestling on September 11th.
And if you've never seen her live, go get your goddamn tickets to Back to School at Barrie Wrestling September 11th. She's going to be there. It was just announced a few days ago. They haven't set her up with an opponent yet. But knowing Nova, it could be a woman, could be a man.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I'm
she's
really
going to go out there and she's going to kick some ass.
And I'm going to try our best to get an interview with Nova live and in person at Barrie Wrestling as well for our show.
Absolutely. Man, great addition. I didn't even think about putting Nova on this list. Just because of the lack of exposure.
Yeah, no, but there's just something about her, man. There's that it factor. She has the it factor that you can't teach people.
I get you, man. I'm not going to fight you on this. I know she's amazing. My number 6 is a girl that I discovered on the indie scene as well. She's no longer on the indie scene. She's where she deserves to be in NXT. And that is a woman named Shotty Blackheart.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with this.
I love me some Shotty. I have for a very long time. She did a lot of work for like Black Label Pro and
Shimmer and Shine
and Shimmer, Shine, all that stuff. I was very lucky, very fortunate to see her perform live at the Summit a few years ago. One of my highlights of just watching wrestling live was that show. She was fantastic at it.
We just said the word it factor. Like, hello, Shanti, you want to talk about charismatic?
100%. And WWE, well, I can't say WWE, NXT.
Well, she's on SmackDown now.
Well, but that's only been for the last few weeks, right?
Yeah, about a month now.
Yeah, so...
But they kept the tank, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. They already changed her fucking name, right?
I don't think so.
They did. It's just Shotzi now.
That's what they do. They get rid of last names.
I know. But whatever. The way she's been treated and pushed in NXT has been phenomenal. They really accentuated her talents, not only in the ring, but just her on the camera. She's a character.
Inaugural women's champion with Ember Moon.
100%. And they, how good were they together?
Oh yeah. I was surprised they didn't put them up together.
Me too. So Shotzi's got to be on my list. She's been one of my favorites for quite a few years now. It's a funny way that she came into my line of sight was back when I was working on The Lasting Mark. We focus more on the controversial side of wrestling with The Lasting Mark.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
And Shotzi did this whole thing where she was like selling her fecal matter on
pictures
Valentine's Day. It was pictures
of her
yes,
shit.
Yes.
And then Danny stole her gimmick.
Yeah, right. my two favorite people at that time, just for show purposes, were Shotzi and Priscilla Kelly, just because of the fucked up things they were doing.
I thought you were going to say my two favorite things in life are wrestling and poop, and she nailed both of them.
and I got lucky enough to meet them both at the summit. Man, what I hope once COVID is over, they start doing those summit shows a lot more, because the amount of talent at that show, it's nuts.
It's my biggest regret. I was going to go to it in SummerSlam weekend, but I didn't realize how far away I was from it and just wasn't going to make it. Yeah. So I went to Stupid Access instead.
And it was quite early in the morning.
It was. I was downtown in time for it, but I was on the wrong part of downtown.
Actually, I couldn't even say. I don't know what time it was. I know that
it was like 9 a.m.
because we were working there.
Yeah.
We were there at like fucking 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, or something like that.
Yeah, I think the show started at 9 or 10. It was an early one.
We were standing outside, and everyone was so tired because most people had been to the Greektown show the night before.
Yeah.
Not me. I was at ROH the night before.
That's right.
But we're standing out there. I'm standing beside Nicole Matthews, Allison K. They're just like us, waiting to get inside the fucking venue. It was a cool experience. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about my memories. We're here to talk about Shotty Blackheart because she is my number 6, and we're here to talk about your number 5.
Number 5, I'm going to stick with the NXT theme, and I'm going Io Shirai.
Okay, all right.
Fuck, is she so good, man? Mm-hmm. She's so good. Ever since they turned her heel a couple years ago, the sky's been the limit for her. And then she obviously transitioned back into a babyface because she was so good. But ever since I watched her and Candice LeRae fight at that takeover in Toronto, I was like, this girl is fucking magic. She's fantastic in the ring. She's got another, again, I use the it factor, the presence to her. Home run after home run. What a great championship run she had. I still think it should be going personally. I didn't like that she lost the belt to Raquel Gonzalez. Not a knock on Raquel.
Not a knock on Raquel. It's just Io is.
I just think they could have kept Io going more. I think there was more to do with it, right? But either way, Io Shirai.
I don't know why I didn't really peg you for an Io Shirai fan.
Secret.
Yeah. But I'm glad you are, man. She is great. There's nothing bad to say about Io Shirai.
Yeah, she's fantastic, man. I just enjoy her work in the ring. I just think that she's so good in the
ring. My number 5, most people, maybe even like yourself, have really only known her for a few years, probably since about 2015. But I've been following this woman through Shimmer, through fucking you name it. I think I have a list. This woman has gone through Blood, Sweat, and Tears, BCW, Max Pro, Smash, SCPW, Shimmer. She's been everywhere. I've been watching her ever since the beginning, way back when she was known as Courtney Rush, but you would know her as Rosemary from Impact Wrestling.
Okay, nice. I like this one.
She is she can do it all, man. She's one of the best valet/managers that Impact's had in a long time. She's also one of the best wrestlers that any promotion could want. Courtney Rush has gone through the women's divisions of every single major indie company. Again, I'm going to keep talking about the Summit. I was so fortunate to see her fight for the Shimmer Championship at the Summit. She's everything she touches turns to gold.
Yeah,
and she, number one, she's the greatest asset to Crazy Steve.
Yeah,
this is not me knocking Crazy Steve. I was a big fan of Crazy Steve pre-Impact. I loved him on the indies. Every time I saw him at any of the BSE or Max Pro shows or whatever Smash shows, he was always a cool guy to me. I always really liked Crazy Steve. But to be perfectly honest, without Rosemary, Steve's not there.
Yeah, I agree.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I also think Rosemary, I think we have her to thank for reviving the end part of Abyss's career.
I agree with that also.
I don't think people were giving a fuck about Abyss. And then once he got with the Decay, he had a whole that whole breath of life. And I'll tell you, that didn't come from Crazy Steve.
Nope. No, I like it, man.
So I think Courtney is, or Rosemary is again, I'll use this phrase again, the future of wrestling.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And you know,
she's everything. She's everything Daphne was, but better.
And I love Daphne.
Right?
She was so good. The Scream Queen, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with this one, and I don't think that like we're going to fight a lot about this one because especially now that we're getting into our top fours here, it's time for the best of the best, right? I think one of the best in-ring performers of the last, I don't know, 6 years, 5 years has been Asuka, and she's my number 4.
Okay, I've been waiting for this. I didn't know where you were going to put her. I knew she'd be on your list. We sort of discussed this off camera. Spoiler alert, she's not on my list.
Yeah. Which is fine. The booking of
it
Asuka
has nothing to do. It's because we're talking about our current favorites.
Yeah.
And I'm just not enjoying what she's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's her fault. I think it's the booking. I just don't think I've seen anything to make me really care since before Money in the Bank of last year.
Yeah, and that's fair, and I get that. Her booking has been very bad, but her in-ring is always very good. And that's my draw to this, is I love watching Asuka in the ring. She is so fucking charismatic. Everything from her, when her music hits, to the way she walks down the aisle, she captivates you immediately. And then she gets in the ring, and she just fucking beats the shit out of people. She pummels people like she's vicious.
Man, but I don't know why, they use the word strong style for a lot of people. You want to watch strong style? Watch an Asuka match.
Yeah. I don't know, like, and she was the MVP, one of the MVPs as far as I'm concerned during the whole COVID era a couple of years ago, the last year when they were in the Thunderdome, when they were in the Performance Center still. I just thought she was so funny. They were letting her do commentary, which nobody knew what the fuck she was saying, but she was still awesome doing it. She had the great moment with Becky. They got the unfinished business with Becky Lynch still, which I love that they've kept that lingering for about 4 years. I know she's been off TV for a little while, and I think that's a good thing because they've just done poor booking with her up until that point. So that when she comes back, it's going to be fresh. It's going to be a reset. It's going to be great. But just her body of work is enough for me to still be a fan to this day. Her NXT run, like all that stuff is what I remember when I think of Asuka. And she's not a fast forwarder for me when Raw's on, when SmackDown's on. I always watch Asuka stuff.
Yeah,
and that's hard for me to say right now.
I'm with you on that, man. I hope when she comes back that she comes back in full force, the way that we deserve her, the way that she deserves to be pushed.
I hope so.
Because she is one of the greatest in the history of the WWE. I will say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was your number 4?
That was my number 4.
My number 4 should be on everybody's mind right now, everybody's lips, because she just got a shiny new belt. She is the first, one half of the first NWA Tag Team Champions. Pinkies up for Allison K.
Okay.
And this is where I'm going to start talking. I told you before I was going to mention Roxy. Roxy's not on my list, but this is why her name is going to come up.
Okay, enlighten me, because I don't know a lot about Allison K. I know she's fantastic, but I don't know a lot about her.
I'm going to talk a few things. Number 1, she is part of the Ring of Honor Women's Championship Tournament.
Yes, got to be one of the favorites to win it as well.
I trust that everybody by now has either had it spoiled or has watched it. Spoiler alert's coming. This past episode of Ring of Honor, I'm about to spoil. You don't want to have it spoiled? I'm giving you 5 fucking seconds to turn this podcast off.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There you go. I watched. We are recording this on Monday. I watched today's episode right before we went on the air. Tonight's match is surprised the fuck out of me. My choices for the finals from day one, when they announced all the women, I said, here's what the finals are going to be. And I said, Allison K versus Max the Impaler.
Uh-huh.
Both women fought today. Both women lost today.
Wow, they lost. They made Allison K lose. Who'd she lose to?
She lost to Trisha Dora.
Okay.
Trisha Dora, sorry.
Big surprise. I could see Angelina Love beating Max the Impaler just because it's Angelina Love, but I'm surprised that Allison K lost.
Well, here's the thing, too. Max the Impaler, she lost by disqualification.
I love that.
They had her, she was about to win. She was choking out Angelina on the ropes. and then she wouldn't let it go.
I love that. Wild animal.
So she lost. So next week on Ring of Honor television is the semifinals, and then of course the finals will be at Death Before Dishonor. But next week we're looking at Roxy versus Angelina Love.
That'd be great.
And Alizé versus Trish Adora.
Okay.
My new prediction, now that both my two favorites are out, my new prediction is Roxy versus Trish Adora.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
Trish Adora wasn't a favorite of mine until tonight's match. Her match against Allison K. Anybody who can look that good against Allison K. Is money in my books. And she beat her. I don't know how much you know about Trish Adora. She's a proud Black woman whose finisher has one of the greatest names in the history of professional wrestling. Because I bring up again, she's a proud Black woman. Her finisher is called the Lariat Tubman.
The what? Sorry,
Lariat Tubman.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Okay, well, if you anybody who's not up on their Black history, Harriet Tubman is a very famous woman who is known for helping free slaves. During the Underground Railroad.
Yes.
So to be called the Lariat Tubman is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So she really impressed me tonight. So I'm going to say it's going to be Trish Adora versus Roxy in the finals. My new pick, my pick to win the whole thing was Allison K. My new pick is Roxy.
I think Roxy as well. I think she's the right choice.
That has got me completely off topic, though. Back to my original pick to win the whole tournament, Allison K. She is still one of the greatest professional wrestlers, not only in the women's division, in the world today. And I have thought that for a long time. She's a former NWA women's champion. Mm-hmm. She is now with Marty Bell, one half of the NWA women's tag team champions. She wrestles everywhere. Shimmer, Shine, Rise, Smash, fucking NWA, Impact. I believe, has she been on AEW yet?
I'm not sure. I couldn't answer that.
She will be.
Yeah.
she
will.
Everywhere.
She's got a good presence on the Canadian independent scene as well.
Yeah, and she's not even Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
She is phenomenal. You watch her in-ring work. She's one of the best. I'm going to say that she is tied with my number 3 and my number 1, who I'll mention later, for being like the greatest in-ring workers as far as women go today.
Okay.
I really believe she is. She's got everything, man. She's got the look. She can be a beautiful face, or she can be a badass heel. She's got the gimmick. The pinky gimmick is working for her. The look is fantastic. And from a bias standpoint, man, I've been lucky enough to meet her, and she's a beautiful human being. I love her.
I love her, man.
Such a good person. So man, if you're sleeping on Allison K, if you're not watching her enough, start tuning into NWA and Impact, because she's on both programs. She's done some great stuff. She's really worth watching.
All right. I like it. Allison K, fantastic piece of talent. My number 3, I'm going with the current AEW Women's Champion, and I'm going with Dr. Britt Baker.
I'm not going to lie, man. I thought I pegged this for your number 1.
Yeah. No, couldn't do it as my number 1.
Okay, so I'm predicting now our number 1s have to be the same.
I think
that's my prediction.
That's my prediction.
Okay. But yeah, tell me about Britt Baker, man. I'm a fan. I really am. I think she's one of the wrestlers that make me want to watch AEW.
First of all, I love the chemistry that her and Tony Schiavone have.
Right.
Those
are great segments. So
fun, and it just started on a whim. And
and Tony can't even pretend to hate her.
No,
No,
and I love that. Like at first, it started with her like talking shit about him, and then they became friends. And you know what I mean? Like it got to a point where I think Tony came down to the ring and gave her a hug when she won the belt, or was part of her celebration. Like they're magical together, and I think that Tony helped get her to that next level, believe it or not. Like,
oh yeah.
But there's
sometimes you have we've already used this term a lot. You have that it factor. You have everything you need. There's sometimes just one small thing missing.
Yeah.
And it could be the stupidest, smallest thing that's going to push you over the top. And in Brit's case, I think it was this Tony thing.
I agree. Like the segments they do where they went to the spa together, like just fucking hilarious stuff, man. Good for Tony Schiavone. Good for Britt Baker. This girl, she might be the best woman, maybe one of the best wrestlers on the microphone right now, period. She is cutting some fierce promos. She's getting great heel heat, but people are cheering her because her promos are so good.
Right.
And she's really picked up her in-ring. She's hitting home runs. She's getting matches out of people like Nyla Rose. What's her name? I got to read it. Hold on. I have it written down. Here's one of my honorable mentions. Hikira Shirida, who's the former AWA Women's Champion, who is one of my strong honorable mentions because I thought she's fantastic as well. But Britt Baker is can't miss every week. To the point where even CM Punk, the first line he said was,
"Yeah,
man, you make me feel like Britt Baker in Pittsburgh." Like this girl is somebody that you can build your company around. And AEW, I think she's going to bring their women's division to that next level that everybody wants it to get to. Her match with Thunder Rosa. I don't know if you've seen that. Did you see that match?
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck, man! That was her Steve Austin moment.
Yeah.
And I love that her and Mick Foley have a little beef now because she always chirps him because she's the real hardcore icon.
I love that so much.
She's firing on all cylinders. She's one of the best things in professional wrestling right now. Dr. Britt Baker, check it out.
We mentioned earlier how AEW is just not quite there yet with their women's division. But I also said they're going to get there. The reason they're going to get there is Dr. Britt Baker.
1,000%.
If they take that title off her anytime in the next 6 months, they're fucking stupid.
No, unless they have a great chase storyline built up for her, then
unless they're planning on turning her to like the biggest baby face in the company.
Yeah, because I really think she could be their number 3 baby face, man.
Yeah, but you don't need to do that right now.
No, they don't.
Keep her heel and keep that title on her.
I agree.
Question before we move on to my number 3.
Yeah.
If the rumors are true and her husband Adam Cole is on his way over there, I have a bad feeling they're going to be tempted to put them together in some fashion. I think that's a massive mistake. What do you think? I
think it depends how they do it. If they put them together every single week, very massive mistake. Mm-hmm. But if they just have them, like everyone knows they're married, so I don't think they should ignore it either, right? Or they're not married, but they're dating, right? Like I don't think that they should ignore it completely, but I don't want to see her being his manager. I don't want to see him involved. You know what I mean? I don't care if they do some backstage stuff together. I don't care if they acknowledge each other. I don't want to see them as a weekly on-screen duel.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should ignore it either. Like it insults our intelligence if they do that, right?
I've never had a problem with stuff like that because to me, they're playing characters.
Fair. But
I always thought that with, back in the day when Owen Hart didn't want to do a storyline where he was dating Deborah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want my kids to think that I'm cheating on their mom. But no, dude. So it's okay that your kids think that you're this prick who beat the shit out of their uncle. It's okay that they think that you run around in a superhero costume. It's okay that they think that you're this dickhead because he's played a heel for so long. But this is where you draw the line. No, man, you're playing a character. You're not. Your name might be Owen Hart,
some
but
people
you're not.
Aren't
no, and if that would have been his excuse, I'm just not comfortable. Fine.
He did say that as well, though. He wasn't comfortable doing it.
But that's not what he said. He had to add to it saying, "Oh, I don't want people thinking this." You're playing a character. So as far as I'm concerned, when the lights turn on and those cameras fucking hit the red button,
hey man, try explaining to your 5-year-old kid why you're kissing another woman.
My 5-year-old kid ain't gonna be watching fucking professional wrestling.
Yeah, but he goes to school with people that do.
Yeah, right.
Well, at least at that time, maybe not now.
That's off topic.
Let's get back on topic. I want to know your number 3.
My number 3 also had a good night last night and has been having a good night every time she hits the ring. I told you that my number 1 and my number 3 and Allison K are all tied to probably be some of the best in-ring workers, men or female. My number 3 is the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo.
Wow. Okay.
I'm confused of how surprised you are by this.
I thought this was going to be your number 1.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was going to be in your top 2 at least.
Looks like I know who your number 1 is. Well, let's talk about her a bit now. We'll obviously talk about her a bit later. I just want to bring up the fact that she is the current Impact champion. She's the current, I'm going to butcher this, Ariana's champion in AAA.
Yeah.
She's made a name for herself in ROH and TNA, in current Impact, in WWE, NXT. Everywhere she goes, she shines.
Yeah.
And she is one of the best. She's great on the mic, don't get me wrong, but she's one of the best in-ring performers on television right now.
I actually went back and forth with her as my number 2, my number 1 for a long time.
My number 1 and number 2 were set. There was no changing that. So her as number 3
until right now, like even the last 5-10 minutes, I've been going back and forth. But let's put a pin on her. We'll come back to her in a minute.
All right.
My number 2 is the Queen.
Okay.
I'm going with Charlotte Flair.
Let's put a pin on her.
Was she number 1?
Let's put a pin on her.
Oh, I should have kept her as my number 1. I just changed it. Well, you know what? I'll make her my number 1 too then, because let's just talk about Deonna. It just makes my editing easier.
Talk about Deonna.
Let's talk about Deonna. You said a little bit about her. I don't think that there's been a better booked women's wrestler in the last 10 years than how they booked Deonna in Impact Wrestling. Right. Exactly. How long has she been the champion for? Now she's going collecting belts in other companies. Her microphone work, her in-ring work. People believe in her. I think she's the best thing in Impact Wrestling right now. Hands down, 1000%. I love the fact that she's got the AAA title right now. I'm begging anybody. Let's get Britt Baker and Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh my God, right?
Right? I don't give a shit where they do it. Let's see it.
I want to see her every now that I fucking hate this phrase, but now that the forbidden door is open, and basically everybody's working everywhere except for WWE, I want to see Deonna Purrazzo everywhere.
Yeah,
we saw, and now we're seeing her. She was at the NWA pay-per-view. She's all over the place. Impact.
Her and Mickie James are going to have a great match. I'm really excited for that.
Right?
Yeah. And you mentioned the forbidden door, and I know it's stupid, whatever. I don't like that saying either. Are you as disappointed as I am that the women have been left out of the forbidden door?
I could not. We could do a whole show and talk about how much every company could benefit by trading the women around.
We saw Thunder Rosa and Serena Deebs come over to AEW, but that's pretty much it.
I mean, Deonna's been doing a lot of stuff though.
Deonna just started. just started.
Deonna's been in AAA for quite a while now.
Well, didn't she just debut a couple months ago? And then, this was her first match in AAA.
When she won the title?
Yeah. She debuted and did the face-to-face a couple months ago and build up to the match.
Well, it's still.
But
a couple months go a long way in professional wrestling these days.
100%. I get it. But, this forbidden door, quote-unquote, has been open for almost a year now.
Yeah.
And the women are being left on the back burner.
And the biggest sin about it is that they have not utilized my number 2, because she should be going everywhere in this era. And I'm about to talk about Thick Mama Pump, my girl Jordynne Grace.
I can't believe this isn't your number 1 also.
We'll get to, when we get to my number 1, I'll explain why. But here's the thing about Jordynne Grace. Now, this is not a surprise to you. I'm going to fanboy out. I've been a fan of hers her entire career.
Yeah.
When I first started watching her on BLP, she fought She went toe to toe with Nick Gage on GCW 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's fucked.
Yeah, tough. You gotta be tough to do that.
And then the very next night on BLP, she fought Hornswoggle and had a great match somehow. She just is, everything she does is magic. I got to see her live at the Summit against what's her name? Martinez.
Yeah, Mercedes Martinez.
They put on the show of the night. They were amazing. I got to meet her that day, and she, like, one of my favorite pictures of that whole weekend was of me and her, and she was just so generous, so nice, just a beautiful human being. She's
also a big fan of her husband's too.
She happens to be married to the greatest in-ring performer in the world right now.
It would have been great if you made her your number one, because your number one was crushing last week. And
here's the thing, and I said that last week. I said, I bet you anything when we do our women's, his wife is gonna be my number one. It just couldn't happen like that. And I'll talk about the reason. But let me break down something for you. Just to put some reality into the career of Miss Trisha Parker, Jordan Grace. Dude, she's only 25 years old.
That's crazy.
Okay. She's been doing this. She started like at the bottom in the Indies when she was like fucking 16. Okay. She's only been on like the mainstream since 2018. Can you believe we've only, like, the world, not me, because I've been watching a little bit more, but guys like yourself and everybody else has only really known her name for 3 years.
That's crazy.
And in those 3 years, take a guess of how many championships she has won.
I think only like 2 or 3.
Try 13.
Oh, really? I didn't know she did so many.
All over Impact? No, just all over the Indies.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about just Impact.
No, I'm just talking in the last 3 years. Since 2018, because that's when she made her NWA debut. And then she made her Impact debut in late 2018 and then signed her contract in 2019.
Okay, so I thought we were talking about just Impact.
But since she became a household name in 2018 and on, she's gone on to win 13 championships. That's insane. And that's in professional wrestling. That's not her side hustle.
Yeah, I can ask you about that.
She is a championship winning power lifter.
The transformation that she has made in her body.
Oh my God.
You've got to respect the hell out of it. The work she's putting in, it's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah, good for her.
She's probably the hardest working wrestler on the scene right now. Let's talk really quick about the stuff she's doing with Rachel Ellering. I think it's great. I love their tag team together. The stuff she was doing with Jazz right before was also awesome.
Yeah, really enjoyed that.
And everything she's done in Impact so far, she's one of the reasons that I even care about Impact. And that's where I wanted to talk about. It's a sin. It's a shame that she's not being used for this so-called forbidden door. She should be going everywhere. You want a belt collector? You want somebody going from promotion to promotion? That should be Jordan Grace.
100%.
Can you imagine Jordan Grace and Nyla Rose?
Oh, what a wow.
Right?
You know what would be great too is, this is crazy because their size difference, Jordan Grace and Rhea.
Yes, absolutely. Jordan Grace and Camille. Like, there's it's endless possibilities, and she's so talented that she can wrestle anybody. You put her up against Kylie Ray, and they put on magic. And Kylie's this little tiny thing.
Yeah.
You know, Melina. It doesn't matter. It could be somebody tiny. It could be somebody big. It doesn't matter. Jordan Grace is going to have a phenomenal match with them no matter what.
Sounds like our number one.
I'm going to say something that I think you'll agree with, but I think is going to be very controversial with our listeners and wrestling fans in general. Our number one is the greatest female wrestler in the history of the WWE.
Thank you very much. And if you don't have a problem with it, I'll channel my inner CM Punk. Shut the fuck up and turn off the channel.
She like obviously we're talking about the Queen, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about Charlotte Flair. She's not just my favorite wrestler right now in the women's division. She is the best female wrestler to ever perform under the WWE banner.
She's one of the best wrestlers in the WWE.
And I want anybody to fight me on that.
How can you?
Name someone. Give me your Trish Stratus's, your Alundra Blazes, your Becky Lynch's. I'm sorry. Nobody has touched what Charlotte Flair has done. And if one person gives me the whole, yeah, it's because of her dad bullshit, watch her in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay?
Her dad never did a fucking corkscrew off the top rope to the outside.
No, it's that shit's not, he didn't give them that talent.
She didn't even want to be a wrestler. She's doing the whole thing in honor of her brother.
She worked, exactly. She's not even a wrestler because of her dad. She's a wrestler because of her brother.
Yeah.
She is just naturally talented.
And you know what? Let me
she's
for argument's sake,
a hard worker.
Yeah, let me for argument's sake. Okay, let's make an assumption, and I think this is a fair assumption, that maybe Charlotte got into developmental NXT, not even like the show, but in NXT to train because of her
because of who her father was.
Great.
Sure. Fine.
How many people have gone through developmental that did not do what Charlotte did and continues to do on a nightly basis? That girl has picked up wrestling. Everyone says Kurt Angle picks it up the fastest and rose to stardom, whatever. Charlotte's got to be right there with him, man.
And it's not like she didn't grow up with the Guerreros.
No.
She didn't grow up in a wrestling ring training every single day. No, she grew up with her father banging hookers on the fucking road. She didn't see her dad.
Woo.
She wasn't like training with her father.
Nope.
She didn't know her father.
Yeah. And that's been something they made very clear.
Yeah. So you can't give me this shit. Everything she's gotten, she's worked for.
100%.
If she got signed in the first place because of her last name, anybody who's going to take that away from her can go fuck themselves.
100%. Have you ever gotten a job? Anybody that's listening to this, have you ever gotten a job because of somebody you know?
Who your dad was, who your friends were, who I can say that I've probably gotten at least 5 jobs in my life because of family or friends.
I only get jobs because of people.
And I can
trust me, I'm not very likable.
And I have given jobs because people are my family or friends.
100%.
Now, with that said, I don't give jobs to people who can't hack it.
100%.
I've had friends walk up to me going, dude, you have a job for me? And I'd be like, you couldn't do this. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If Charlotte couldn't do it, they wouldn't have given her a job.
And I mean, if anyone wants to argue, and not to knock on the guy, but David Flair.
Okay.
Right?
I was going to bring up David Benoit.
David Benoit as well.
You know what I mean?
Different story a little bit, but.
Well, here's the thing. David Benoit, I don't think is not getting a job. He's not getting a job in WWE because of his last name, but many other promotions would pick up David Benoit, even with his last name, doesn't matter, if he could wrestle.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not working shows that people are not willing to
give jobs if he can't wrestle.
Yeah. Well, I've seen his training videos.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that he's done.
He's not his dad.
No, well,
and he never will be.
His dad was a one of a kind, right? But to go back on topic with Charlotte, though, tell me somebody better on the microphone. Tell me somebody that carries himself like a champion. Yep. The look, the robes, the strut.
Don't get me wrong, man. WWE has been home with some great wrestlers in the last few years. I am a huge fan of Becky Lynch.
Yeah, me too.
The one and only reason Becky Lynch wasn't my number 3 here today is because she just came back.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
She hasn't done anything yet.
I agree. And I don't like that they made her the champion already.
Bailey, I just don't like what she's doing currently, which is
I would have had Bailey on my list if she wasn't injured.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the ding dong thing or whatever.
I don't like the ding dong thing, but I think all of her stuff before that, her promos are just unreal. And the fact that she became a heel after being so loved is so impressive to me.
So I'm not taking anything away from Becky, from Bailey, from Sasha, from Bianca, from Naomi, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I will give her credit where credit is due.
Charlotte's just better.
Charlotte is just better.
And Charlotte carries people to great
I don't
matches.
know if she's the greatest women's wrestler in history. but she sure as hell is the greatest women's wrestler to ever wrestle for that company. And then people, and like, we'll flatten this out before anybody starts saying we'll go all the way back to what. I'm gonna say, controversial or not, I don't give a shit. Fabulous Moolah was not a good wrestler. Mae Young was not a good wrestler.
Nope.
It was a different era of wrestling back then. Yes, were they better than the fucking bra and panty matches and shit in the ring? Sure. Absolutely. But you go, can you get through a fucking Fabulous Moolah match?
No.
I can't.
And she's a terrible person on top of that.
I have a hard enough time getting through a Wendy Richter match.
I didn't mind Wendy Richter.
And she's considered one of the greatest of all time. I'll give the dues to Medusa.
Yeah.
For her time. Both Medusa and Bull Nakano.
You know who I really like from back in those time periods?
Charlotte is better.
I just want to give a little tip of the cap to the Glamour Girls, man. Judy Martin and Lily Guy.
Nice.
Big fan of their work.
I'm sure you are.
Big fan.
Yeah,
big I fan. Our number ones.
Make sure Lanny knows that we're big fans.
I'm trying.
I know.
I'm trying. But yeah, I think I'm happy our number ones were, even though I flip-flop mine a little bit there, but and I'll hold up my little note here, my terrible spelling. No one can see that because I have my green screen, but Charlotte, number one, right there. Yeah. It was written down on my list. I kept changing back and forth. Deanna could be too. I would be okay with either.
That was me and Deanna and Allison. They kept flipping, but my number 3 through 7. Well, Quinn was always number 7. 3 through 6 could have always kind of flip-flopped. But my number 1 and 2 were not moving. Jordan Grace, because of my personal just love for everything she does. But Charlotte, because you can't argue it. You can't. And anybody hating on Charlotte right now is only hating on Charlotte for the same reasons they ever hated on Roman Reigns and John Cena. And, it's because they're on top and you want somebody, whoever the Daniel Bryan of the women's division right now is.
That's I think Naomi is there.
Which is fucking weird.
I just love the fact that they utilize her and like they now made that part of the storyline of you just get what you want because your last name, and they always just push her. And like, I love how they've incorporated that and made that a thing. It pisses everybody off, and I love it.
A couple of weeks ago, when I think she was facing Rhea Ripley, and the crowd was chanting, "We want Becky," and it pissed off Charlotte to no end, where she ended up just saying "fuck it," and she flipped off the crowd.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Hey man, she's the queen. You want Becky? I'm better than Becky. And it pissed her off. She took it personal, and then she turned up the gear in the ring and made people stop chanting, "We want Becky."
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, I've got a lot of fucking honorable mentions here, just because the women's division is so stacked.
I've got a few. Becky is definitely one of mine. She was a tough one to leave off, but I had to because she just came back.
Yeah, she was originally my number 7 because I'm like, I just want to put her on.
How about I bang through mine really quick because I only have a couple, and I'm sure, and then you just hammer through yours, and we'll take her home here. So Becky was on my list. Sasha Banks was on my list. Dakota Kai, I really like her work. She's on my list.
I love her too. She's on my list as well.
Tony Storm. I'm a big fan of Tony Storm.
Tony's also on my list. Yeah.
Thunder Rosa is on my list.
Okay.
Quinn Mckay was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Bubblegum Princess Alexia Nicole is on my list.
Our girl, yeah.
Our girl. And just one of my personal favorites. I've always liked her work. Tennille Dashwood.
I slept on Tennille, man. I really like her too. The stuff
I liked her ever since she was Goofy Emma doing the hand thing.
Yeah. But just the stuff she's been doing in Impact with Caleb with a K has been so good. So good.
That's all I've got. I'll let you bang through yours here.
I got Mia Yim, sorry.
Yeah.
Someone who was almost on my list. It just couldn't happen. I know that you're not familiar with her work, but she's a GCW loyalist named Allie Catch.
I know a little bit of Allie Cat. Yeah.
I love Allie Catch. Everything she's done. When she was Allie Cat, I loved her. Her new heel gimmick, Allie Catch. The stuff she's doing with Effie, everything she does is just very entertaining. When she was originally on my list, the note I wrote to say about her was basically she will never be on the mainstream ever, but god damn is she always going to be the boss of the indie scene.
Fair.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Max the Impaler.
Yeah.
I forget what they're calling her in NXT right now, but Taya Valkyrie. Is one
Frankie
of the
Mobster or something like that.
Yeah.
Frankie Monique or something like that.
She's one of the greatest women's wrestlers of the last 10 years.
Yeah, she gets slept on a lot too.
Her stuff in Impact was great. Her stuff in Lucha Underground was fantastic. I'm the thing keeping her off my list is I haven't been watching her on NXT.
Fair.
Marty Bell.
Okay.
A woman I wanted on my list so bad, just couldn't work. Kylie Ray.
Yeah.
Our girl Lufisto.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Lufisto. Yeah, fantastic.
Nicole Savoy.
Okay.
Priscilla Kelly, now in NXT, known as Gigi Dolan.
Yeah.
Candice Luray.
Oh, I forgot to mention her too.
Indy Hartwell.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of what they're doing with her right now, but Piper Niven / Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Casey Spinelli.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. My Twitter friend.
Yeah.
My big brother friend.
Nicole Matthews.
Yeah.
And Nyla Rose.
I respect it. You know who I want to give a shout out to, and she's not doing anything right now, but Lana. Lana works hard, and people need to stop shitting on her.
Yeah, Lana does work hard.
She works hard, and
when she pops back up, we're gonna see her do something special. I have one more, and she's not on my list because just like Lana, she's not doing anything right now, but she needs to be mentioned as one of the greatest on the scene of the last 10 years, and that's Tessa Blanchard.
Oh yeah, fantastic! I got an autograph from her grandfather.
Tessa would be in my top 3 if she was with a company right now.
Yeah, I hope we see her again, and I hope that I'm not going to cover.
There's always rumors about her talking to WWE.
Yeah,
and if they're true, man, can you imagine her and Charlotte?
They should be a tag team.
You say that, but I want to see them wrestle so bad.
Let them team first and make us work for it.
Oh man,
I love it, man. Great list again, man. We got to come up with something to start fighting soon.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that'll happen in the next 2 weeks.
I'll do a best of CM Punk list soon.
Oh fuck. We're gonna get friend of the show Andrew Kent to come in the show with you because I'm not doing that one.
That's fair. We're gonna talk about Andrew a lot more in the next couple of weeks too.
We definitely are. I don't have a whole lot more to say, man.
I got nothing, man.
I've
enjoyed the last 2 weeks of the show, just talking about the positivity in wrestling, and next week we'll get back to our regularly scheduled list.
Bullshit. Yeah. If anything we want you to take away over the last 2 weeks, and I said this last week, is the fact that if you're just whining and bitching about professional wrestling right now, then you're not a wrestling fan. Turn it off. Go watch something else.
We don't want to hear you anymore.
It's not for you.
100%.
And this is not me being like, oh, don't complain, don't bitch, don't whine. My point is when people saying that wrestling sucks right now, you're wrong. There's
fucking awesome.
If you don't like WWE, that's fine. But we are proving on this show right now that there is great wrestling and great wrestlers out there. We just proved 2 weeks in a row with these great names, and in 2 weeks and 2 different lists, I think we mentioned 4 different WWE guys.
Yeah.
There's more wrestling out there, guys. You don't have to watch WWE. You don't have to watch AEW. There's so much out there, and if you do want to watch WWE, fucking go for it.
I agree, man. I agree. Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So there's such good stuff out there. Just watch it.
I'm not gonna say anything more about it because I couldn't have said it better myself. All I will say is before we sign off today, please head over to www.countout7.com. Head over and check us out on YouTube, like and subscribe. Very happy with our recent growth in YouTube. Please help us keep it going.
Yeah,
that's at Countout7, I believe. And then Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff at Countout7. It's all on the website, man.
And keep your eyes on that webpage, because that's where you're going to start getting information on. We're going to start doing more contests and shit. And that's where you're going to get that information. That's how we get you. We want those clicks. We want you getting to that webpage. And that's how we're going to get you getting there. We're going to be giving some shit away. 100%. So that's how you keep clicking on that webpage. Do it a couple days a week, because you never know what we're going to be giving away. And
please check out Classic Match Classroom this Sunday. I'm really excited for that as well. I can't wait for you guys to check that out.
I don't even listen to wrestling podcasts anymore, and I'm going to check this one out.
I think it's going to be fun, man. We got some cool ideas. I can't wait for the vision to come to life. In the meantime, love wrestling, everybody. Mike, take us home, my friend.
Well, on behalf of good professional wrestling and just good professional wrestling fans, we've been counted out.
Cheers.